course. And it appears, I think, yes, we are live. It is Sunday, June the 7th, 2020. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. in the UK, and, for giggles, it's 3 p.m. in Alaska. Welcome, one and all, to the Sunday Night Hang, featuring myself, Ben Coombs, and I'm joined tonight by a friend I've had for several years now, Mr. David Nesdall, and a slightly newer friend in 2020. If there's anything good that came out of this year so far, is my friendship with Mr. Tye Price.
Amen to that, Ben. So happy to be here. Yeah. Thank you for having us.
Oh, I'm happy to do it. Dave knows he and I, we love talking gear. And, when we were talking on the phone there the other day, the three of us was like, let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah. Hey, Bent.
Wow. Yeah. We got a few people already in the chat. We've got Terry's GG&G, Bent, Tom, the Chads here, Martin Lemaire, Brad Miller, Butt Cheeks himself, Brendan B. Squared, some guy named Tye Price. I don't know who that is.
That's me.
Adam D. Thomas Santiago. I always have to sing his name. Mike Rohde. Good to see you, man. Brax Doublefield in the greater Nashville area, because I never remember exactly what town he's in. I know he's outside of Nashville.
We'd all like to be there.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, to be in one. The man, the myth, the legend made it for a live show. Awesome. Good to see you, Chad. Ironically enough, Dave.
Yeah.
Mr. Tobin here in the chat. His family grew up one street over from my dad.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, wow. Yeah, out in Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia.
I love that guy.
Yeah. Eddie Van Haskell. Good to see you. Gary Davlin.
What a great name, Eddie Van Haskell.
Oh, love it. Love it. Yeah, Eddie's been around pretty much since day one with this channel.
Oh, what a fantastic name.
Mitch Heyman's here. Aaron Cram. Dwayne McKnight. Oh, we got quite the crowd already jumping in. So yes, folks, if you have any questions, comments related to gear, we are wide open tonight. And I think between the three of us, we can cover a lot of ground. Well, in all honesty, these two guys can cover a lot of ground. And I can have my two cents.
You're awesome. Oh, Mitch is here. Hey, Mitch, good to see you.
Yeah, Janice is here.
Chad, I saw this incredible picture of Chad playing a flame Vi guitar.
Yeah.
What a sick guitar.
Yeah. My buddy Nick made that for him.
Golly. Nice. Chad, you must record a video with that guitar.
Hey, Mitch.
Yes, please do.
Hey, Terry's GG&G in the house.
Thomas Santiago. Hey, Thomas.
What else did I see? Rick Hefner's joined in. Nice.
Yeah,
so, Dave,
yes,
you've been on a bit of a journey this year in the guitars and effects. And good golly wally! Every day, I open up Facebook and it's Guitar of the Day, and it's not Norm's, it's Dave's Rare Guitars. It seems.
Dave's Rare Guitars. That's a great name. Wow. Well, I'll tell you the story. I have, as we all know, I'm a bit of an Eddie Van Halen freak. I guess you can call me a historian, or a geek, or
archivist,
or moron. I don't know, whatever. And I came upon, like everyone else here has, I came upon a guy named Tom Bukovac. And Tom Bukovac is probably, if you're listening to the radio at any time, you're probably listening to Tom Bukovac's guitar, because he is the most recorded guitar player on the scene. He's on everybody's records. He lives in Nashville, and now he has a YouTube channel that has skyrocketed. Every one of his videos are about 15 minutes long, and he gets 21,000, 35,000 views, 50,000 views a day.
And I don't even think he started his channel until after the lockdown started.
Right.
So he started who he was.
He started
4 months ago, I'll say. I kind of knew the name.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Tom now, I think. Because even all the he's the YouTuber that the YouTubers watch, I think.
That's right. So he gives us 15-minute lesson, and he he gives anecdotes and he gives his opinions on things, and he does some playing, and he shows you stuff, and he has all these amazing vintage guitars, but he doesn't talk about them. He doesn't talk about his instruments. He doesn't talk about the gear. He cares about music only. But the gear he has is stuff he needs for his toolbox.
Right.
And I started thinking, well, hell, there are I'm actually going to be starting to do some sessions that I was asked to do. Awesome. And when I get my kidney, I want to start gigging again. And I'm thinking to myself, why do I need 40 Floyd Rose 2 humbucker guitars? I don't need that many. But what I do need is guitars that I don't have in my toolbox, that if someone says, hey, man, I want that Firebird sound, those mini humbuckers, I can say, okay, I can make that happen. Or sure. I need that Gretsch hollow sound. Okay, I can make that happen. Or I need a Strat sound, or I need a Tele sound, or blah, blah, blah. Okay, I can make that happen. So I started selling off some of my Floyd Rose guitars that I don't play every day, that if I have them, great. If I don't have them, I can always rebuild them if I wanted again. So that I can get some of these guitars that I need.
Sure.
And that's what I've been doing. So, I think I bought 5 guitars in the last 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. And I need 2 more. I need to get a Jazzmaster, 3 more. I need a Jazzmaster, I need a nylon string acoustic, and I need a Firebird. Nice. And I should have everything covered at that point. I've got a beautiful Martin D45 that I've had for a while that I just don't show it. It just stays in its case, and if I ever need it, it's there.
Yeah.
And I've got everything else. I've got everything else that I need. So yes, I'm selling a few guitars, and I'm buying a few guitars, and I bought a beautiful Tweed 112 from my buddy Jack at Rock and Roll Amps. That right now is a little noisy. I need to change V3 preamp tube, which is basically the reverb tube. That's a little noisy at the moment, and stuff like that. It's been a fun journey. It's been a fun journey. But the other thing is, a couple weeks ago, I got a pinched nerve in my neck, which doesn't hurt, but I know it's there, and it's prevented my left hand from performing correctly. It has shot down all through my arm, and I don't have a lot of control in my left hand these days. So it's releasing. It has released somewhat, and I can play a little bit better, but it's still. I felt like I was playing really well and then the next day I felt like, what happened? Am I a beginner again? What happened to me? And that's what happened. The pinched nerve had caused something to freak my hand out.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's coming back, and I'm working through it. I still play 5 to 6 hours a day,
right?
And no matter how bad I'm playing, I need to work through it so that does release, and I can play again.
Exactly. Let's see here. We got a bunch of people joining in. Quickly, first, Eddie Van Haskell asks, Ben, what skates are better, Bauer or CCM? CCM Tax all the way. We've got
the hockey fans in there.
The Feel button is here. Hip Metalworks. The lovely Susie Cherry's here. Crenar's here. Let's see. Fruitcake Tony's made it. Awesome. LPD Pedals. Awesome. Good to see you, Lawrence. Frank Corcoran's here. Always a pleasure to see Frank. Jack Collins. Absolute Mayhem's tuning in from the Dairy Queen drive-thru. Safe travel.
That's awesome.
Dale Palmer.
My knee hurt. My knees hurt, says massage. Unfortunately, the massage parlors are not open right now because of this coronavirus, and I think they're in the 3rd stage where they'll be opening, and I just can't get it done.
Yeah. Because where Dave is in the country, delays in reopening stuff for obvious reasons. I'm in a similar boat because Ontario being one of the more populous provinces, we're delayed compared to other provinces too. So I get it. But hey, the music stores are open, so that's enough for me right now.
That's good.
That's great. Always good.
Yeah, I think I've already been out and shot 10 demos in the last 2 weeks.
That's fantastic. So what have been some of the standouts in the last few weeks?
You know what? Somehow, well, I know how. I was going to say somehow I missed it at NAMM, but I know how because I was not sober at the Gibson party. Thank you, Gibson, for their open bar. The Epiphone Les Paul Muse model.
Oh,
I
cool.
totally missed that at NAMM. But my God, what a beautifully balanced, well-playing example of the Les Paul family. And it's got a nice belly cut in it. The body appears to be slightly thinner. It almost reminds me more of the Ibanez single cut in many ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just a little more trimmer, sleek.
So did you see the new Les Paul, the new Epiphone line where the headstock looks exactly like a Gibson and the bodies, everything looks exactly like a Gibson and the quality is almost like a Gibson. It's just, they have raised their game and it's $900. It's crazy how I mean, if it didn't say Epiphone, you would think it was a Gibson.
Yeah, there's a slight more of a bump in the center at the top of the headstock, but it's got the wings, which is nice. And hello to Nikki, who joined us as well. Yeah, it was funny because we got into the Gibson party and I was there with a fellow YouTuber along with, JJ was there and a few others. And I ran into Eljan Go. And I came up to him and I said, hey, do you mind, doing a 90-second interview? Well, that 90-second interview was a 5-minute interview, and then him taking me into the main room and walking me through the various models. And I'm just like, this is insane. He's like, yeah, check it out. I'm in charge. Nobody's going to tell us shit. Okay, sure. It was awesome. And then I literally ran into Rick Nielsen shortly thereafter.
Oh, very cool. I love it.
Hey,
We
Ben,
were
did you
both
go
on the corners of a display at the same time, and just literally, I slammed right into him, and I was so apologetic.
Did you go to the Gibson event with the concert with Slash and Billy Gibbons and?
I did not go to that. I was at the one. It was the night before NAMM opened, so it was the Wednesday before NAMM.
Okay, so you were there early.
Media day. Yeah, I flew in on the Tuesday this year because I wanted that extra day to hang out and stuff beforehand. And we went down just to register our passes and then went up to the Gibson party, somehow talked a bunch of us in. I got us, I think, 4 or 5 passes. Six-string Brian, who watches both of our channels, he was hanging out with us, and JJ's House of Jams and Aaron from Elvis Band. And then we got in and they unveiled the new Slash line at that one. But and then Los Lobos was the band that played.
And that's so cool. I love David Hidalgo. He's what an incredible guitar player.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah. He's another guy. He's another guy that just his tone is ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Dave, you mentioned a Firebird a minute ago. Braden said in the chat that he got a Firebird for his birthday. I mean, how money is that neck pickup in a Firebird?
Yeah, it's amazing. I've played a lot of them. My buddy Andy Alador has a real 1964 in incredible condition with he just had he had it refretted a while ago, but doesn't really use the guitar, so the frets are still amazing, and it's just ridiculous how good that guitar is. Ridiculous.
Yeah, they're amazing. I hope you're enjoying yours.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I saw Bent Tom was asking if you could hold up your Kanai there, Dave.
Sure.
Yeah, Braden had a question about that guitar too. Thought it might be a junior. It's sort of a junior.
It is a junior. It's called a Kanai J. This is the Nag's only production model that they have. Everything else is custom. You can get custom any way you want. But this model is a base model so that they can say they have a guitar in the $3,000 range, because most of their guitars are more than $3,000. Yeah. Actually, I think brand new with no relicking this guitar is $2,700 street. Nice. American, and relic it's $3,100, which this is.
Nice.
But the only thing you can custom make on this guitar is you can custom make the pickup configuration. So you can either have a P90, 2 P90s, or one humbucker P90, one humbucker, 2 humbuckers, whatever. However many, it's 2 pickups or 1 pickup, but you can have that in any configuration you want. Nice. Other than that, there's no other customizing. It
Nice.
comes. It's come with a 50. It comes with a 59 Les Paul feel neck, and it either comes. It comes in several different colors as well. But
Awesome.
That's it.
That's
Shout
a cool
out.
color.
There's Mark Taft, my faithful roadie in here. And before
Hey,
I
Mark.
get yelled at with angry text messages, it looks like my cousin Doug is talking to himself in the chat because I see both NASCAR Doug, which thank you, Terry's been posting in chat. My cousin Doug and I are starting a new NASCAR themed podcast on a new channel starting this week. So we're both NASCAR fans. So that'd be NASCAR Doug. And then he also has a podcast on the sport of cornhole, which would be the Down and Back with Corn Doug. And I saw the lovely Nikki Tedesco's in here as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, Nikki.
I think I'm setting a record here. I think I've seen 4 ladies in here. Wow.
Well, Ben, you got to make your way to this part of the country if you're a NASCAR fan. I'm in South Carolina. So
You're in Darlington country.
Well, we've got Darlington just down I-20.
Oh.
And look, I'm a stone's throw away from Charlotte.
Perfect. Yeah. And I usually spend 2 weeks each year in Charlotte for the races.
Well, you'll have to swing by here, and you can spend a couple of nights here and hang out with me and the fam, and we can play guitar.
Love it.
Oh, the wife will love it. I can guarantee you.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? Asks Andy. Andy did a Hendrix tribute, didn't he? Yes. Not only did he do the tribute, but he did it with Hendrix's band, with the band of Gypsy.
Yeah, Andy does the Hendrix thing and the Stevie Ray Vaughan thing very, very well. But
Yes.
he's also has a unique voice of his own. And so, I mean, his guitar playing in and of itself is world class.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that. See a bunch of people saying hey to each other. We got Peter DeBad joining in here.
How many people we have in the chat?
It says 47. Nikki,
Not on Sunday night.
awesome hair, Ben. Well, thank you, Nikki.
Very cool.
Freshly washed, even.
I feel special.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the only guy I know that has to plan his day around washing his hair, for Christ's sake. Because you don't want to use a blow dryer, otherwise I look like David Lee Roth around the.
Well, how do you get all the soap out?
A lot of rinsing. A lot of water pressure, too. You know,
Awesome.
Places with soft water pressure, forget it. Mark Dillon tuning in from The Rock.
So Ben, when was the last time you were in the Southeast? Was it when you went to NAMM in Nashville?
Yes.
Yep.
Good call. Yes. Which I'm really ticked that got canceled this year because I was really hoping to get back for that. I had a whole bunch of stuff planned in and around NAMM as well as the NAMM show itself.
Oh, sure.
You know, a lot of people think that Summer NAMM is not really great and it's a waste of time. But I got to tell you,
it's fun.
I've been there and I prefer it over Winter NAMM because at least you can get around. You can breathe. It's not as big. And you're not running into people, people are physically not running into you like you can at Winter NAMM.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. There was only at one point it felt like Winter NAMM, and that was because the booths don't seem to coordinate with each other. And I'm sorry, you cannot have Johnny Hyland playing in the Kiesel booth and have Brett Mason right across the aisle in the Wampler booth, because they started trading off licks, call and response.
Well,
And then
they're best buddies. They're
James
also best buddies, so they're doing that because they're friends.
It was great.
It's hard to
boom, right? Like they were 30, 40 deep.
Hey, Ben, when was your first trip to Winter NAMM?
I went January 2019 was the first one.
Okay, cool. And you had a good time?
Amazing.
I saw your videos. I mean, you had a good time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, from what I remember. And otherwise, I've been told I had a good time, yes.
And Fruitcake Tony says no Namthrax at Summer NAMM. That may be true.
Yes. Yeah, I took full advantage of the let's work during the day and play all night and live like a 22-year-old for a week and go on about 3 or 4 hours sleep a night each night. And yeah.
And you were quickly reminded that you're not 22?
Very strong coffee in the morning and a little hair at the dog as soon as you hit the NAMM floor. Thankfully, you Americans love having bars in any location. And I'm like, you mean because in Canada, you would have to, like, if they have a bar, they'd have a roped off area and like a beer garden, and you'd have to sit there and have your drink. And I'm like, you mean I can walk around the NAMM floor with a beer? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, this is a wonderful country.
What a country.
What a country. Yes. Hey, Paul Ewing, Stompbox Steels. Now, there's a guy that knows a thing or two about pedals. I think his pedal board currently has 73 pedals on it or something.
Holy crap.
Wow. I'd love to see a photo of that.
He needs another one.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to see a photo just to understand, like,
The flow.
signal chain, order, where he places the buffer. I'm not very savvy when it really comes to that. I was telling Dave yesterday that the bane of my existence was having to build this smaller board, and I was just dreading it so much so that I've put it off for like a week, building this smaller board. And Dave tells me yesterday, he was like, you just need to stop whining. I find this thing fun. You find this thing a huge pain in the butt, but it's not really my thing. I mean, I admire guys that are into that and that can get that thing done, but yeah,
my sister's just popping in real quick. Hey, bro, just got to where I was going. Have a great show. Can't stay. Love you guys. Yes, and give my best to Scott, Amanda. Her other half, his father isn't doing too well at the moment, so well wishes and positive vibes for sure.
Hello, Amanda, and
best wishes, Amanda.
Prayers being sent.
And somebody had asked, who was it? Where did I see? There we go. Braden. Any tellies in the room with a neck humbucker? Why, yes. And hello to Charles 75N. I have one because it also has a bridge humbucker.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
What's the sticker? Let's see the sticker.
All right. This is one of a pack of stickers that was sent to me by John BL. And it just fit perfectly between the pickup rings. And I kind of like the pinup girls and stuff. So I figure, why not? It was meant to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Thank you, Terry. Posted a link to Dave's channel. Yes.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you very much, Terry.
I have a show on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Nez Sez.
Yeah, please, if you guys haven't subscribed or if you haven't seen the show, please do, especially this Thursday night. We're proud to present
Tom Weber.
Yes, Tom. Couldn't think of his last name for a second. Tom Weber. He's tech to the stars. Eddie Van Halen's tech since 2004. 2007. He's teched with Neil Schon and Reba McEntire and CeCe DeVille and many others.
Nice.
And he's gonna have a lot of stories for us. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
And a lot of expertise to share.
And if you guys want to finally know what Eddie Van Halen's string height is like and how his guitars are set up, you'll be able to find out firsthand because he is not afraid to talk about that stuff.
Very cool.
He is a super nice guy, very genuine guy. Yeah.
Hey, and there's TL Pedals Canada, Tim Lewis himself. He was on with me last week here, maker of some cool stuff out of Moncton, New Brunswick area. As I look down, he did we'll call it a modded Big Muff, but instead of just your sustain, level, and tone, he added a mid control as well. Man, does that ever open it up? Oh my!
I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah.
Ty and I are both like big overdrive guys.
I did release a demo on it last week up on the channel.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Check it out. Yeah.
I recently have stumbled upon what I think is one of the best overdrive pedals on the planet, which when they first came out, they were $30. and now they are super expensive, and it's called the Nobles ODR1 Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
It, in my opinion, blows away the Tube Screamer. I have a an Analog Man King of Tone. I've got an OCD. I've got a bunch of J Rocket pedals that are pretty much all of their overdrives. And this $30 pedal sounds incredible because it's neutral. It's neutral sounding. There's no mid-range bump, but it does give you some singing sustain. It is really good. They came out, they were $30, and now, when you find one, they're, $500, $700, $1,000.
Yep.
But, they make new ones now too, which I have a new one. I have a new one and an old one. They both sound very similar. The old one maybe 5% better, maybe. But the new one also sings like a bird. It's just fantastic. Nice. And you can get them on Reverb or eBay from starting at $75 to like $120. $120.
I got to get my hands on some Noble stuff.
Yeah, it's really good.
So do I.
And they're made better. They're made better now than they were back then. Which, I don't know why anyone wouldn't want to have a new one, because it's just more rugged. It's a better made pedal.
Right.
But the old one, just its sound quality is maybe that much better. Maybe.
Nice.
And I always want to have vintage stuff. I like vintage looking stuff and vintage stuff when I can afford it. I happen to find one in the $250 range. Someone didn't really know what they had. So I just stomped on it. Literally stomped on it. But yeah. So
Frank said he just got a J Rocket Archer. That's an amazing pedal.
Certainly is. Yeah.
Yep. And loaded Steen and TL Pedals is already. I'll have to look into that circuit. That's right.
Yeah, please do, because if you can come out with a pedal that's built like a brick shithouse and has that sound of that Nobles, you'll have a winner there. You'll have a real winner.
And you raise an interesting point that, we are in a market today where gear is better than it ever been.
That's a truth.
So many choices, especially for the applications that we're going to use it for. And I have to constantly remind myself that when I'm trying to acquire a new piece of gear, what am I going to use it for? How am I going to use it? How is it going to benefit the overall big picture? And I think every player should really ask themselves, because there are so many options available, and they are being built better today than they were, Dave, say all those years ago, right?
Yeah. I'll give you guys just a little taste.
Please.
This is the amp clean. Now, I have the overdrive set lower, so it's not killing everyone upstairs, that my tenants upstairs or Desiree. Here's the clean sound. There's your clean sound, and see, I told you my hands are not there yet.
Hey, hold one note, Dave. Just hold one note.
Sure.
Pick a note. Hold a note. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's fairly quiet. I have a P90, so it's a little noisy. But if I had a humbucker on, you wouldn't hear the overdrive pedal. You wouldn't hear it on.
Speaking of which, I have coming my way a stacked P90 that my buddy Travis over at Reno Fin designed, and he wants me to try out. So,
I've never tried one.
No, neither have I. I said, "What is this voodoo?" I said, "You've been in the lab again, haven't you?" And he says, "That I have." It's like, okay, well, send me one. I'll try it out.
Yeah, I've never tried a stacked P90 before. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
And, hey, BB Ninja, salut, mon ami.
Hey, BB.
Hey, BB.
He says, did someone say pedals? Yeah, speaking of guys with pedals.
Yeah.
Zuzu pedals.
Yes. And, I did want to mention also, we got our friend Lawrence here in the chat. LPD Pedals is running a sale on both their 68 overdrive and their 87 overdrives. Both are on for 15% off now through, I believe, Father's Day, which is the 21st.
Very nice.
Yeah. So if you want to get a plexi tone in a pedal, look at the LPD 68 because it is a plexi in a box. The 87 is a 2-channel. The green side is your 80s JCM 800. Flip it over to the red channel, and it's a Jose modded Marshall.
Oh, sweet. Very sweet. Hey, Ben, what kind of overdrive pedal do you tend to put in front of your Tweed there?
Well, for the heavy stuff, an LPD 87. Because when he told me Jose modded Marshall, I went, nobody's done that.
Yeah, can you get it so we can see what it looks like?
Sure. Blow the dust off of it.
Hey, John B.L.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you got a nice 4-band EQ with the switch.
Very nice.
And coming out this year, hey, John B.L. He's doing a deluxe version, so it'll be this with a boost as well.
Very nice.
That's awesome, Ben. All right, so do you tend to like in front of your Tweed, since you said it was your number one?
Yeah.
Do you tend to stack them, or okay?
Yeah. So I like to run tons of headroom through the amp. Super clean. Hey, Jay, 7/8's in the house.
Hey, Jay.
What's up,
Good to
Jay?
see you. So super clean, and then I basically have. Let's see. Currently, I have 3 overdrives and a fuzz, all in order, descending from lowest gain up to highest gain.
Okay.
So,
where do you put your fuzz in the chain?
The fuzz is actually second right now. I like my fuzz because if this is simulating my dirty Marshall, I want the fuzz going into the Marshall.
Sure.
The only thing I have in front of the fuzz is my LPD Lost Dutchman, which is like a Timmy. And so it's a nice low gain. So it sounds actually better in front of the fuzz than after. And them together has a really nice saturated tone as well.
That's cool. Is your wah, do you use a wah?
I do have a wah, but it's not on the board. I just plug it in as needed.
Okay.
Yeah. Last band I was in was with my best friend Richie, who loves using wah. And I was like, you don't need 2 guys using wah in a band.
Right. All right. So when you're plugging a wah in, do you put it at the beginning of the chain and then cascade from there? Yeah.
Yeah. First thing. Yeah. And I also learned I switched my compressor to post gain instead of pre gain.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Lawrence actually helped me with that because he said, do you want to lose your dynamics? Because a lot of his pedals are really good at dynamics where, if you don't dig in, it's a very clean sound. And it sounds like you're like, did you just kick on the overdrive? It's like, no, I just dug in. They're really attack sensitive in that respect, which is awesome. And so then he said, try your compressor after. That way you can have that bubbly, compressed chicken picking tone post gain, so you can get as dirty as you want and then compress it.
Yeah, very nice. Yep. It's funny because I guess we're okay to say this, Dave, but we were on the phone with Johnny Hyland and we were asking him about that piece of his chain, and his chain is the same way.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, what was the other one? And I also have to round out the overdrives, an LPD Vermin, which is his version of a Rat.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. A good Rat is really good.
Yeah. It's very, very good.
And he was somehow able to get that Rat sound without an LM308 chip. I don't know what voodoo he did. I don't ask. It's good. Yeah. Ben Thomas, how are the Luster Great Voxy tones? Yes, that was the pedal temporarily known as the Hayseed, which is like an AC30 in a box, which has now been renamed the Luster, which should be out for sale around time the Ben Coombs signature overdrive will be released.
Oh, tell us about that.
Oh, well, I can. Yes. It is a mild overdrive, lower end, closer to like your Klon, Timmy type thing, based off of a Class A tube amp sound. So that nice, warm, cranked Class A tube amp, but turned into a 4-knob overdrive. So a low, highs, level, and drive. And I think I have a photo, actually. You know what? Lawrence isn't screaming at me in my phone here. Don't show it. I'm going to briefly show a video of the faceplate. Because for the limited runs, the faceplate is separate. So,
Hey, Mickey.
let's see here.
Very nice.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Oh,
nice.
wait, it's not playing though. Here we
Very
go.
nice.
It's actually a video. Let him turn it over.
Yeah, very, very, very nice. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Oh, cool.
And because I'm
Nice try,
Canadian,
man.
Yeah,
nice drive, eh?
that's great.
So that should be out by the end of the month.
So Ben, is the Klon? You've mentioned the Klon a couple of times. Is the Klon is that your pinnacle?
Yeah. I was the guy that was stacking 2 or 3 clones in a row to get a higher gain sound.
What was your favorite Klon clone?
Ironically enough, the Electro Harmonics Crayon.
Okay.
Because, they did the Soul Food, which was kind of their...
I thought that was a good pedal. That's a good pedal. I didn't like the box, but I thought it was a good pedal.
Yeah, but they took the Soul Food, and instead of having just the treble, they added a bass and a treble, and that was the Electro Harmonics Crayon. I plugged that in and went, that's my sound. That, into this, that was my low, medium gain sound. Wow, boner jams. Evening, gents. Just taking a second out of my day for midget pornography and Jennifer, okay, to my shrine of Jay Hannon to say hi. What time are we discussing my drop B infatuation and active pickups?
We just did that.
We just did.
Boner Jams, you missed out on that 7-string guitar. My buddy Chad owns it.
Hey,
Metalhead Hippie
is joining us.
Metalhead Hippie. That's a great name.
He's a great guy too.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Phil Button says, I returned to Soul Food. I gave away a Soul Food on a live stream once, so just for the hell of it. I think it was one too many super chats one night, and I'm just like, screw it. I'm giving away a pedal.
By the way, Ty, should we talk about our giveaway for Thursday night?
Yeah, we can. I want to say one thing first. The Klon is that's my platform too. I mean, okay. all things are measured against the Klon. But if you're throwing together a quick gig rig, and you're going to throw on an 808 or something like that, say in front of the Tweed that you have, it's perfect, right? Yeah. It's perfect. It goes back to the earlier point we were talking about, is not making too big a deal about the gear and making more about what the player can do with the gear, right?
Yes, I agree.
That's where the magic is.
And I'll go a little further. If you're going to put a Klon style pedal in your pedal board, I highly suggest not putting an original Klon on, just because of how much they're worth.
Right.
Keep that at home. If you have one, keep it at home and go buy yourself a gold J-Rocket Archer.
What? And we just talked about the Archer, yeah.
I mean, there's a gold one and there's a silver one. They both kind of mimic the gold and silver Klon.
And Zach,
the gold one
makes a good one too. It's
the
just
gold one is really the shit. It really is.
What was that one, Ben? Which one were you just saying?
Mythos. Is it the Golden Fleece from Mythos? Okay. That's his Klon, or is it the Milner? I can't remember. Maybe BV would know, because BV knows everybody, and I know BV knows Zach, so he would know which Mythos one I'm thinking of.
Help us out, BV.
Yeah, and shout out to Zach from Mythos. He's going gangbusters, and he also has a few pedals up on eBay. He's selling to help raise money towards Black Lives Matter. So,
oh, that's great.
Yeah, it is the Milner. Thanks, Brack.
BB, I'm going to do that. Thank you.
And the Manticore, I think that's Scotty Smith from Pro Analog Devices. It does the Manticore.
There's so many great pedal builders right now because they're smart guys and they can put all of this stuff together, but they're also players and they understand what we're all going through. Again, to echo our point, never been a better time for gear than right now.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, Aaron Cram says, you prefer the gold Archer, eh? I prefer the silver Archer. That's cool. That's what makes the game of baseball. We all have a different opinion, different ears. It's cool. I tell you the truth, I'm not really a Klon guy. I think they're okay for some things, but I'm not really into that sound. I'm more of a tube screamer guy, really.
Yeah.
With maybe
That's
a
cool.
little bit less of the mid-range bump, like the Nobles that I found.
Sure.
It's become my favorite overdrive pedal. It really has.
Nice. Hey,
I'm
the
a
dog.
Klon guy. I'm okay with it. I'm a Klon guy, and I love it. I embrace it, and I like them with singles, and I like them with hums, and
I just say use both.
yeah, I love that. For whatever reason,
I wish I could afford all the pedals I want to hear. And isn't that in a nutshell? I wish I could afford all the pedals I want to hear. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I know what you mean. Ben Tom says a gold Archer into a 71 Super Lead for him. And I can understand that. Also, Boner Jams, I will look out for another 7-string for you. I just read your post.
Nice. Mark Dillon likes the Tube Screamer Mini. Yeah.
yeah,
Great. And it doesn't take up a lot of space.
Craig Tomlinson asked, have I ever tried the ODRS? Funny you should say that. I have one sitting right here, right next to my ODR1. And I love them both.
Nice.
And the ODRS that I have sitting here is a vintage one. But the ODR1 I have here sitting in front of me right now is the new one because there's no need to plug both ODR1s in.
And thinking Tube Screamer stuff, just made me think. The pedal I got to shoot a demo on this week is another offering from Tim at TL Pedals. This is called the Honker Overdrive with a Canadian goose on it. A Canadian overdrive. Tube Screamer based with an option to bypass the clipping diodes and an option to have 10 times the amount of gain as the standard Tube Screamer.
Sweet.
Which, hey, why not? Because
Very cool.
Aaron, for me, probably the gold, only because of the way in which I would use it and the gig in which I would use it in. I'm going to answer you with the gold because it's got to be. At the end of the day, it's got to be useful for me. So there's no use having it if I can't work it.
Yeah.
And so I guess in terms of the types of gigs I do, probably the gold. But they're all great. I mean, and it's up to the individual player too, right?
Yeah.
So we want to squeeze as much as we can out of this.
Yep.
And then just add to this. I made so many mistakes for so many years trying to stack gear on instead of paying attention to what I had here first. And then once I changed my perspective years ago, the gear world really changed for me. It was more how could the gear serve this and less about whatever the market asked me to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I saw someone here, Gabriel Tone Guitars asked about the Blues Driver. Now, that was one rabbit hole I had never ventured down until a couple of weeks ago. And so I'm in a local Ty, you would love this. I'm at a local music store, not my regular one, the guys that help me out that I work with, but the competition, right? Our version of Guitar Center. So they got a lot of inventory, and they're like, "Hey Ben, you're here. Will you shoot some videos?" Sure. So they pull out a JCM 800 half stack for me.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yep. Which there's still a shelf right here, so I can set up my phone to record with. And they set up a music stand with some patch cables for customers to test pedals with. So he pulls out a Wazacraft Blues Driver for me for my dirty tone. Mm-hmm. So, because that's the one problem is when I shoot in music stores, I'm generally plugging into whatever amp's on the floor. Mm-hmm. I usually set it up semi-dirty, and that's it. That's the tone, because I don't want to be switching channels back and forth, doing one-shot takes, because I'm in an open store on the showroom floor as I'm filming. So I'm trying to be subtle, but things are slow to open, so it wasn't the busiest day, so there wasn't a lot of ambient noise. So here I am, whisper, whisper, whisper. Okay, we have a tone. We got a clean tone. Okay, but that Blues Driver into that Marshall. Woo! I went heavy into testing Gibson products that day.
Well, yeah, your experience is so parallel to mine. The very first time I tried a blues driver, it was through a JCM 800, and I thought I had found heaven. As a really young player, I was playing a Les Paul. I still have that Les Paul. Playing a Les Paul through that JCM 800 it was fantastic, and I've graduated through different versions of that blues driver. But that's the core of it. And I tell young players all the time, I was like, find this first and then begin to add to it, and find those pieces of gear that complement this. Don't think of it the other way around.
Yep.
And then you won't find yourself down all the rabbit holes that I found myself in, all the wasted hours, wasted time that took me away from actually creating on the instrument and push me in a different direction. Mm-hmm. I just believe the gear should serve the player.
Agreed.
Yeah, gear should definitely do it. And I find gear can definitely inspire the player too, right?
Oh, amen to that.
Well, that's the holy grail right there. You should if you're buying something, don't buy something for the sake of buying something. Buy something that is going to inspire you to play. I've always said, and I believe this wholeheartedly, you don't have to be a good guitar player to own a good guitar. I'm not saying to buy something that's out of your price range, but I'm saying maybe buy something at the very edge of your price range instead of going conservative. Buy something that, well, shit, I've got this good guitar. Let me play it. Right. Let me prove that I am worthy of owning a good instrument. And it should make you want to play because, first of all, the setup is usually going to be very good. The components on it is going to be great. It's going to feel great, look great, sound great. Mm-hmm. It's just, don't maybe not get that Squier guitar. Maybe if you don't have the money for an American guitar, maybe get that made in Mexico guitar instead of buying a Squier for $250. Maybe you save your money for another 6 months and go get that $500 made in Mexico guitar.
Yeah.
Or if same thing, if you're buying a $600 or $700 Epiphone Les Paul, why don't you save maybe 3 months more and get a real Gibson Studio? You can get them for under $900.
Bill and BV said something. Both of them said something pretty profound. Bill Spruce said, "Too much gear gets in the way. Spend too much time fiddling." I agree with that. I don't want to ever love the idea of the guitar more than I love the guitar.
Right. And I'll say, because I'm guilty of having a lot of gear, but I've always run, especially playing in cover bands, because I like to cover a lot of ground. I always will have a very extensive pedal board. So I'm not, turning knobs, but I'll have 4 or 5 different overdrives set. Basically one for each decade almost.
I've got 6 of them set up right here. 6 overdrives, 2 delays, a tremolo.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I ran both an analog delay and a digital delay because analog set to a slap back for the majority of the work. But if I'm playing like Dirty Laundry, for instance, and I got to take the lead break, guess what? I need a Boss digital delay to have that sound because the whole solo is all bends and delays. So.
Yeah. Well, that's a great point. You're still, even though it's a lot of gear on the floor, you're still using the gear to serve the job that you were hired to do.
Exactly. Yeah. See a metalhead hippie?
Yeah, the Chad said something too. He said, "Dave, for sure, totally agree. Get a guitar that inspires you, something that's playable. Don't go too cheap. You'll hate it after a while." I agree. It's got to get you. It's got to grab your attention, right? You've got to want to put it on the rack, put it on the stand, whatever, and let it call you.
And granted, I know that guitars are expensive, and we're all a little short on money these days. Especially with the coronavirus, no one's working. I get that. You want to save your shekels to get food for the next month or for the next week. I get that. I'm not saying go out and buy yourself a new guitar today. I'm saying that if you were going to buy a new guitar today, but you only had the money to get A, save a few more weeks and get a much better version of that guitar. Just strive for something a little bit better than you think you want, because it'll make you. Maybe it won't make you better, but it'll make you strive to be better, and it'll make you want to play, and eventually you will get better.
Yep.
Because after a while,
you guys, but if I have a few $100 sitting there, that I'm saving up for that new piece of gear, but if I come along that $1,000 guitar that a guy's selling for $400, I'm buying that to flip, because I know I'm going to be able to put that money into what I want. So don't be afraid of taking advantage of a good deal, folks. Just to flip it.
Yeah, Braden says he just got a Slash Les Paul that's so inspiring. That's amazing, man. If that guitar inspires you to take the next step forward as a player, that's the right guitar for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amen to that.
And I saw Mark Taft was mentioning, he says, yes, Ben has a lot of stage gear. Well, you know what? If we didn't have to play one song where I played slide once a night, that would have eliminated a guitar right there.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those, you take too long tuning between songs. Fine, I'll swap guitars. Well, that means I got to have another guitar set.
And you know what? As whether you're playing locally or playing regionally or you're playing globally, there's nothing wrong with having a few guitars on your stand to choose from. Because I'll tell you what, maybe not for everybody. It might be a little bit of a pain in the ass for the band members, but for the guys and girls in the crowd, it's a show. And even if you're playing at a bar across the street from where you live, there's going to be one or two people in there that are going to be like, oh, wow, look at the guitar he put. Or wow, look at, man, a bass player bought more than one bass. Oh, that's cool. It's good. Maybe it'll help them come back and see you again. Maybe, there's something to be said about, you want to get through it and get your money and go home to your family, whatever. But there's something to be said by when you're on that stage or that little area on the side of the bar to put on a show.
I agree.
And it's interesting when I go see other bands. I mean, I go see bands that I know, and some of them have one guitar, and that's great. Some guys don't really put on a show; they stand in one spot and they play the songs verbatim to the record, and it's fine and dandy. But I'm more interested in what the gear the guys have, and playing the songs maybe a little bit different, or a live version, or even when they're making mistakes, it just proves that people are human. I hate it when bands are absolutely perfect like machines. I can't stand that. I love it when the guitar player, makes a bum note, or the singer kind of like he's a good singer, but he may hit a bum note, or if the drummer drops the one, once.
I remember I hit a note so sour once. It was so sour that the band cracked up. Like we almost stopped playing. It was almost like, when you trip but you don't quite fall. The whole band was doing that because we all just started laughing so hard. Like it was not only sour, it's somehow, I don't know, just the mid frequencies, but that note seemed to be twice as loud as well, I swear. And the whole venue just went, wow, did he really hit that note? And I'm just like, did I hit that note?
Yeah, you laugh at it. Don't get yourself down. When you're hitting bad notes, don't get yourself down about it. As long as you realize that you are hitting bad notes, if you can hear the fact and know the fact you're hitting the bad notes, laugh about it, because you can always fix that mistake. It's when you don't know you're hitting bad notes and everyone around you says you are, that's when you need to worry.
See, here, BC Rich 581 says, see, I'm just the opposite. I tend to buy pretty reasonable but lower end gear for the most part, but with a couple of expectations. Hey, man, there's no right answer. Whatever makes you a better player is the right gear for you. I mean, that is it. And look, we all have a tendency. We may have a tendency to get swept away into a marketing funnel with a lot of these, with a lot of gear. There's a lot to choose from, and there's a lot of good gear to choose from. Yeah. But price point shouldn't necessarily be part of it. there's got to be an ROI attached to it, right? A return on investment. So
Exactly.
any investment that you make in the gear should bring you a comparable return as a musician, as a player, as a human. It should make sense to you.
I agree. I see Boner Jam says he purchased a BL booster, which is the Brielle built booster from TL Pedals, and that's built by Tim's, I believe, 9-year-old daughter, Brielle. She's already building pedals and selling them.
That's right.
And I hope you do enjoy it. And Susie Cherry says, I remember when I got my first USA guitar used, starting, I'm telling you, it put me emotionally over the top. I get it.
Yeah, Robert Master Switch says the marketing and branding trap is real. And you're absolutely right. But I'm not going to lie. I have emotional connections with wood and steel. I have emotional connections to certain pieces of gear that I have that I find irreplaceable, not because of what it is, but because of what it means and what it does for me. And it took a long time for me to really come to that point. But I buy gear these days. I buy gear and put it to work. I'm not a collector. I'm not an aficionado. I'm just a player. I tend to play. I go out to play live. That's my platform. I'm a live player. So if it can't work in that context, then it's not of any value to me, unfortunately. I can appreciate all the other stuff, and I like it.
Yeah,
and
I already gave up on collecting guitars myself due to basically cost, but collecting used pedals, that's my guilty pleasure. Like going to the pawn shop and you're like, $30, why not? You know, and especially with the phaser pedal. I will not leave a phaser pedal unsold in a pawn shop.
And you know, the hamster wheel I get on. Well, see, I'm that way with wah pedals. For whatever reason, I have this attraction to wah pedals. And I've told Dave this. He's sick of hearing it. But
No.
But Ben, I'm exactly the same. I'll go and get a pedal and then let it go. And then 3 years later, I'm like, why'd I let that pedal go? I need that pedal now. And I go out to try to find that pedal again. You know, but my pedal collection is pretty, and it's not really a collection. It's really, my pedal abyss is really deep and wide. But with the wahs, for some reason, I have this weird wah thing.
See. Shout out to Albus Band here, my travel partner for the last couple NAMM shows. And Absolute Mayhem says, question for the panel, is there a guitar player you were not really a fan of in your youth that have come to really love? For me, it was Billy Gibbons. I was late to the ZZ Top party.
Oh, boy. For me, George Harrison.
Well, mine's way different. I just had I had no affinity, recollection, awareness for John Mayer, and my wife asked me to take her to a John Mayer show years ago, and I just knew him as Your Body Is a Wonderland, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll go do that for you, because you go see Van Halen with me, so I'll do this.
Sure.
And I was blown away. I mean, and now I'm a huge fan of what he does and his roots to not only Stevie Ray, but to Jimmy, and to, oh my God, and to countless number of Motown players. I mean, the guy's got deep roots as a player, amazing tone.
Listen, I'm not a Jerry Garcia fan. I'm not a Grateful Dead fan. I'm not a Grateful Dead fan, but I've come to respect that band and respect Garcia, because he was an amazing guitar player. Like, he was his tones were amazing. His note choices were amazing. Everything about his playing was amazing as well. Do I like the songs? Not really. I'm not into that music. But what was I getting with that? Oh, John Mayer has channeled the Jerry Garcia thing as well. Like, amazingly, like he fits right in the dead. Like he was in there from the day one.
Sure question.
Yeah.
He next level talent. Hip Metalworks says my Explorer is the same way. It's my second kid. I'll tell you this, Hip Metal. I bet you play that guitar differently than every other guitar you own. I bet you express yourself on it. If you have that kind of connection with that guitar, then that's your guitar. And I bet everything you do on that is different and better and honest and more transparent than everything else you own.
I'm going to say for late to the table for me, and I'm going to blame marketing for this as much as anything else, but I didn't get into Richie Kotzen until the 2000s because I thought he was just another shredder. And I don't care. I was like, Dave knows, like, I love Eddie, but I don't consider Eddie a shredder. I can appreciate someone like Steve Vai for upwards of 10 minutes before I'm like, okay, I'm good, you know? But Richie, yeah, he can shred if he wants to, but he can also do so much more. And I think part of it is when I discovered him, I discovered his solo stuff. Mm-hmm. You know, so he had already been well into his career and matured as a player. And I just went, oh my God. And then I went back and I'm just like, whew.
Well, the thing about Richie, which makes him amazing to me, is say he was his age now, but back in the 60s. He would be coming out of Philadelphia as a soul and R&B singer and guitar player. Because if you listen to him, yeah, he shreds, but he's
just blue-eyed soul.
Revamping 60s R&B and soul.
Yeah.
And if you heard his voice, he's in his 40s. He's a white male, 40s rock
50.
and roll hippie. But you would, is he 50?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was in his 40s. Anyway, you would think that he was a 70-year-old black man that grew up in the Delta blues, or in Philly. He just has that soul in his voice. And I'm not being racist. I don't care. Black, white, gray, silver, purple. I don't care if you're blue, but he has just got the soul of the black man's music. And he is one of the top guys in our craft. He really is.
I agree. I think, but the thing I love about, one of the things I love about him so much, aside from the songwriting, the voice, as a guitar player, he gave a lot of people permission to have outstanding technique, especially being a great legato player and being able to play it in that context, which is unique for him. I mean, and isn't that the point? For me to try to find this voice that's unique to me, for Ben to try a voice that's unique for him, for Dave to find a voice that's unique to, isn't that the point? To find some individualization with this common instrument, that we play. That's the beauty of it. Mm-hmm. And I think Richie's given the world a great gift. And he said, I can write songs like this, and by the way, I can play like this and not apologize for either, because it's who I am. It's completely honest.
So true. So true. I've seen a few people saying, growing to like Richie Kotzen. Susie's saying there, yep. And Gabriel Tone, I saw him and someone else. Terry Kath is another very underrated
player. Oh my God.
Well, Jimi Hendrix, when he was alive, said that he thought Terry Kath was the best guitar player on the planet.
I mean,
at the time. So,
unbelievable.
Coming from Jimi Hendrix, you have to believe it.
Exactly. Susie just randomly says, and I have to read it. Yay, Telecasters. Of course, yay, Telecasters.
All right, I'll show mine.
Yeah.
I'll get mine out.
You got it right out of the box. What can I say?
Telecasters, extremely versatile instruments.
Mm-hmm. Possibly the most.
Ben, a lot of people make a great argument for that.
Especially if you had a Bigsby, because that's the only limitation is a trem. Well, throw a Bigsby on it.
Here's one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, do the trick.
Can anyone guess the year?
I know it, but I won't say it.
I know you won't say it.
I know it.
I've said it on here before.
Yep. No Mayhem. That is not a 67, but we can show one.
BC Rich 581. I agree with you.
No.
About Danny Gatton.
Oh, yes. No, it is not a 55, but you're close. 55 did not have black pickguard.
That's right.
Ben Tom, you're very close. Nope, you're going the wrong way, Aaron. Almost rocking Chango, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and welcome rocking Chango.
BC Rich, yes, 1953.
Nikki,
That's beautiful.
hello, Ben. Oh, dear Susie and her tellies.
Hey, Dave, tell us about the pickups in a 53.
Well, they're going to have flat poles. The bridge pickup is going to be like the broadcaster pickup, flat poles. They usually range between, I guess, around 8K to 10K, maybe 7K to 10K. This one comes in just under 10K. The neck pickup is going to probably be silver over brass.
Got it.
Which is what this is. This is silver over brass. It's going to be a little bit tamer than, say, a 60s Telly neck pickup. It's just going to it's going to be a little bit muffled like this, just a little bit, instead of very bright and sounding and big like this. But it's just, it is what it was. Back then they wanted that pickup to be as a bass guitar, so they made it sound like this, better for bass.
Yeah, low, but very glassy.
Yeah, so that's the deal. The only thing that I've done to this was put compensated saddles on it so that it intonates.
Swamp ash body.
Yes, it's not swamp. It's just ash.
Just ash.
Yeah, it's
okay.
not swamp. This guitar is not. It's not terribly light. It's not terribly heavy. It's about maybe 7.5 pounds, closer to 8 maybe. So it's got some weight to it. Mm-hmm. It has a nice V-neck.
You do have the V-neck on that too, yeah.
Yes, it's a V-neck.
How about the nut? Have you changed the nut?
I've changed the nut. I've changed the frets so that you could play it. Yeah. Okay.
I played a 57 with the V-neck, and I fell in love with it. I still dream about it.
It is player's grade, so I mean, look at all the checking in there. It's it's not like it's a collector's piece. So that's why I decided to put big frets in it.
Well, now I'm really happy with my buddy Travis because
it is for real. Look at the serial number.
Yep.
0514.
Nice.
It's it's just it's been played. It's been played. Someone with a big belt buckle had it. Yes.
I was looking at those pole pieces because these are my signature vintage workhorse pickups that are based off a 53 Telly set.
Who makes those for you, Ben?
Reno Fin Custom Guitars out of Victoria, British Columbia.
Nice.
He builds my signature guitar. He does all my line of pickups. I've got 3 or 4 different sets of pickups out now. And this one, let's see, somebody was asking which, this is 1971. So it's got a rosewood. It's got the small, very flat, no fret height here, Ty. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you and I've talked about that before. Yeah.
But I don't need a slide to play slide. I can just run my finger across those frets and it's all good. But I also put in a 4-way switch so you can get the out of phase sound out of it. And I installed a 6-saddle bridge because I like to fully intonate it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great, Ben. That's such a beautiful guitar. Beautiful guitar.
Yeah, I like that. I love the 67 as well, but I've always been a huge fan of a vintage white with rosewood guitar.
And this would have been white at one time, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So classy.
I'll grab you the other one, Ty, because this was my dad's workhorse, and I do see that Boner Jams. I will get to that in just a sec. So this was my dad's workhorse, Ty.
Oh, that's awesome that you have that.
And this would be a 67, and as you can tell, Dad was a rhythm player.
Yes, he was.
I've said this before on your show, Ben, and I'll say it again so that Ty can hear it. You're very lucky to have that guitar because,
Yes.
as I said before, 1967 is the year that Fender made the least amount of Telecasters of any year ever made.
I love showing the back of the neck as much as the front, like just gripping those cowboy chords.
That is so amazing.
And the amount of checking even on the headstock. I wish it would focus more, but it's unreal. The amount. I'm surprised there's any paint left on this thing because it's literally, I'm looking maybe a 16th of an inch between each crack on the checking behind the bridge. It's just insane.
I love that, man.
That also got
love
low frets on it?
Yeah, basically no frets.
That's awesome, man. And the fact that it was your dad's, that's amazing.
And the nut action is so low that there's actually wear marks behind the nut in the wood before the strings go down to the string trees.
Absolute Mayhem said paint it on frets. Amen to that, buddy.
Exactly. Just use a silver Sharpie. Boner Jams, give me your favorite hard rock metal guitarists. Well, hard rock / metal, I'll have to go with Eddie.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing, Eddie Van Halen.
I'm gonna be different.
I know what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say, Dave?
John Sykes.
John Sykes is the player for me. Yeah. Yep. Which he drew a lot of influence from Eddie. A lot of influence from Eddie, especially with phrasing. But yeah, he's my look. Everybody has a guy. He's my guy.
I agree.
I love Eddie Van Halen. Love him and revere him. Yeah. But yeah, Sykes is my guy.
Oh, so someone had a question. The reverse question of a question we answered before. Hang on a second. Please forgive me that I can't find your name.
And thank you, BV.
Hang on. Give me 1 second, guys.
Hey, chat, who was your favorite hard rock metal guitar player? Let's hear y'all's.
Oh, I got it.
Ooh, good one by Boner Jams.
While we're waiting,
and Jay Hannon. So
So Maurice D. Burt says, reverse question: any guitarist who you loved that you fell out of love with?
Yes, but not any of them due to their playing.
Same here.
Yeah,
who go? You go. Who wants to go first?
I have a feeling if I say it, it'll just be political. So
no, because I'm not political at all.
All right. Well, Ted Nugent.
Okay. I can understand that. I see. I can't dislike Ted because one of my closest friends is Greg Smith, who's Ted's bass player.
Sure.
So I can't dislike Ted.
Yeah, but Ted would say the same thing about me, right? So that's the funny part. So it's all good.
For me, it's Yngwie Malmsteen, and it's because I have an Yngwie Malmsteen story, which you guys have all probably heard. And if you haven't heard, I'll tell you real quick.
Please do, because I love it.
In the mid-'90s, I worked at Manny's Music in Manhattan, New York. And as you might know, that's where all the celebrities used to come to get their gear. It was like a museum. Anyone was there and got their stuff there. So I'm on the phone one day with a very important Japanese customer buying I think a dozen Music Man basses, which, as you would think, would be a lot of money in my pocket, the store's pocket and my pocket, because I worked on commission. And I'm on the phone with this guy getting his order set. And in comes Yngwie Malmsteen. And he comes up to me and he says, excuse me, can you help me? In his voice. And I said, yes, I'll be right there. Give me 1 second. I'm on with a customer. I'll be right with you. So maybe 2 minutes go by, and he's looking in the counter right in front. But he comes back to me and he points his finger and he starts jabbing me in the chest. Do you know who I am? I need help. I'm like, I looked right up at him and I said, I know exactly who you are. I'm on the phone with a customer that was on the phone before you came in, and it's a big order. I'll get to you in a minute. and I might not have been that nice, but I was. I mean, he was punching me with his finger. It hurt, and I'm like.
And aren't you like a foot taller than him?
Exactly. I said, I know exactly who you are. And when the owner of the store, Henry, the old man, saw this happening, he kicked Malmsteen out because he saw him put his hands on me.
See, I would choose Ingwe, but I never really liked his playing because I never got into the neoclassical thing. So
you got to respect his playing. You may not like it. You may not like him, but you got to respect it because he's the best at what that is.
Exactly.
Well, he was writing great records too. I mean, that were great vocal songs, especially some of the albums with Joe Lynn Turner. I mean, he was writing great songs at one point. I mean, he's a super shredder and probably has. Look, you can argue that he's got the best technique of any player recorded, but he wrote. There was a time he was writing amazing songs as well.
How about yourself for that question, though, Ty?
That's a really hard one for me.
It is.
I'm going to feel bad about saying anyone's name, but since you guys put it out there, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to say Richie Blackmore.
Okay, I can see that.
Because he stopped producing. He went into a direction that didn't necessarily speak into me as a player.
Sure.
So I would say Blackmore, just because I'm such a big Deep Purple fan.
Mark Taft asks, "What is each of our opinions on Mick Mars?"
Very underrated.
I should say as a lead guitarist, because he did say as a lead guitarist. Nobody used more rockabilly licks in the 80s than Mick Mars. If you listen to a lot of that Motley Crue lead work, and even the rhythm work, a lot of his hooks and stuff, it's high gain rock and roll.
I think he's go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
Dave is a huge fan of Mick Mars's tone. I know that for a fact.
Who? Me?
Mick Mars. Yeah, you love his tone.
No, I don't.
I know.
I think he was a very good guitar player. He made up very good parts. His rhythm playing is great. He lost me with his tone. Yeah, it's a little buzzsaw. Well, it's a very much buzzsaw.
Always cuts through the mix.
I don't really like when guitar players tune down a whole step.
Right.
I don't like the way the guitar sounds when it's a whole step down. I just don't. It's not pleasing to me personally. Not saying that it's not a good sound. A lot of people love it. A lot of people love that ballsy lower sound. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it.
Kickstart My Heart is so good though, Dave.
There are a lot of good. I'm not talking about the songs. The songs, especially,
and that's down. That's down.
But as a song, it's a great song. So you got to respect that. But I don't personally like the way a guitar sounds when it's tuned that low. I just don't like it.
Here's what I liked about Mick Mars, and still do. He came through an era of virtuosos, right? And he walked to the edge of that stage, hung all 10 toes off, and went for it every night.
And he maybe wasn't the best guitar player on the planet, but he was in one of the biggest bands, and he was a good guitar player. He still is a good guitar player. And
played with a lot of passion. And you can feel it. I mean, when you listen to that Feel Good record, you can feel the passion that the man plays with. For me, the takeaway from that was how to be in a big band. Mick Mars taught us all a lot of lessons. Here's what you got to do if you want to play in a big band, have big songs, play in big arenas, and you go for it every single night. He hung it out there every night. I just appreciated that.
And the least crazy one in the band.
Yeah.
It turns out, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Let's see here. Gabriel Tone Guitar says that's the singer's fault. Actually, I believe it was Nikki Sixx's idea to tune down to D standard. I saw somebody ask, favorite Canadian guitarist?
Oh, that's easy for me.
All right. I'm going to say for you love Rick Emmett's playing.
Ian Thornley.
Ian Thornley is probably the best thing that came out of Canada.
Nice.
Probably. Rick Emmett, though. Oh my God, the songs! I mean, holy smoke!
But listen, let's give an honorable mention to Alex Lifeson, Rick Emmett, Pete Thorne. Pete Thorne's incredible. Does he not have the notoriety that some of these people do? No, he's just getting there. But his playing doesn't get much better than that. But why I pick Ian Thornley is because he doesn't play in standard tuning. He knows that fretboard inside and out, no matter what that guitar is tuned to. And everything he plays has melody. You can sing it. You can sing his guitar parts. Everything. And yes, you can do that with Rush as well, because we all know every fucking Rush song ever made.
But Rush is the band that we all play air drums to and not air guitar, right?
I understand that, but you can you still know when it's Alex Lifeson. You just know it. He has that thing. You can listen to him and within 2 or 3 notes, you know it's Alex playing because you're so used to that sound of Rush. But Ian Thornley has it.
Yeah. I definitely, I see some honorable mentions. Definitely Jeff Healy, great blues player. I'm throwing Phil X out there because Phil X.
I love Phil. I didn't know he was Canadian. I didn't know he was Canadian.
Yeah, West End of Toronto.
I thought he was from LA.
Well, been down there a long time. In the world of small worlds, both Phil X and JJ, our friend of the channel, worked together at a catering company about 20 years ago.
No kidding.
Really? Yeah, Phil's a great player. Again, another player.
Joey
plays
Lambert.
with an awful lot of passion. A lot of passion behind
a lot of passion.
I'm
also going to throw out there Derry Gian from Honeymoon Suite because he was one of the
love that band. I love that band. And
amazing tone.
Is Fastway from Canada as well?
I don't think so. I thought they were from Seattle.
Oh, maybe. Well, close enough to Canada.
Pretty much. Yeah, definitely. Honeymoon Suite. And then there's somebody else. Let's throw Aldo Nova in there just for the hell of it.
You got to love Aldo Nova. If it wasn't for him, there'd be no Bon Jovi.
That's right.
He found Bon Jovi.
Which, ironically enough, we can tie it all together because Phil X did time playing with Aldo Nova, Triumph, and now Bon Jovi.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
And look, learning fantasy is like a rite of passage for every guitar player.
Yeah.
You know?
Somebody else named Miles Goodwin from Maple Wine. And I'm trying to think of the other guitar player. Brian Greenway is the other guitarist from Maple Wine.
That's it, Dave. That's it.
Nice.
It's going to be a walk down in the F sharp blues scale.
Yeah, I just.
Okay. Now we got some other monster players. Nick Johnston, monster player.
Yeah.
Colin James, great blues player. Jay Leonard J, from the west coast of Canada. And in that group, Devin Townsend. How about we throw Devin Townsend?
Gotta love Devin. Devin, I'm trying to get him on our show. I have a guy trying to make that happen. But he's another guy that is always in different tuning, and he is as fast and as good, if not better, than Steve Vai. Now, don't beat me up for saying that, but if you heard the Sex and Religion record, you'd know what I'm saying because he played guitar on it with Steve. If you saw him live, I saw Devin Townsend live at the last Vai Academy here in Glen Cove last summer. They played together on a stage. It was Devin, Steve, and Larry Mitchell, and David Weiner. And when Devin took his solos, he was sitting on his little tube amp. He brought a 112 Tweed, and he played through a Telecaster with one small box.
Right.
And I don't know what the box was. It wasn't heavy gain either. But when you heard him play that Telecaster and he was matching Steve's licks and cleaner than Steve,
right,
you got to just take my word for it that Devin Townsend is probably one of the best guitar players on the planet.
What's up, Doc? He knows what time it is with Nick Johnson. I mean, that guy's everything about that guy is perfect. I mean, everything about him is perfect.
I read
playing, the tone, the note choice, the articulation, the composition, everything about him is amazing.
I ran into him, Nick, at the Schecter party last year during NAMM. Go figure, being a Schecter artist. And just walked out, hey, fellow Canuck, Nick, and blah, blah, blah. We talked for 15, 20 minutes. What a nice guy. And I'm thinking, he's there to schmooze in one way, but he didn't have to talk to me for 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's always great when you meet these guys and they're nice people.
Very much.
By the way, Ty, I'm playing your favorite guitar.
Yeah, I love that guitar, man. I love that guitar. If Dennis didn't already have dibs on it when you sell it, I would ask for a lottery ticket on that.
No, this is not sold.
How funny was it? Let's see, last Thursday on your show, you guys have some legendary players on with you, and you got Dennis trolling them in the chat.
Yeah,
so
funny.
And Dennis is such a great guitar player and aficionado. Just about what he has to do as a guitar player. I just kind of find everything he does it very inspiring. Ben, he was sharing with Dave and I last week this pedal board that he had built that really had a lot of dual functionality. Mm-hmm. And I'm scratching my head because I've paid to have a lot of pedal boards built, and scratching my head about how Dennis as a player is so in touch, again, back to the earlier conversation, so in touch about how the gear has to work for him that he can create what he's been able to do. I walk away from conversations like that, inspired and humbled that working guys are that in touch with what they're using for gear.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys, Ben, do you mind if I play a little bit of a song that Dennis just recorded? It's
absolutely. I'm a huge fan of it.
Well, it's not his song. It's a song from the Association, the band The Association. Let me see if I can get it up here. I just want you guys, people, to hear what he sounds like. Let me see if I can get this working.
Mayhem's like, what? No mention of Chad Kroger? I might have to duck behind my desk. No, Mayhem. No.
Did I erase? Oh, here it is.
He's got a lot of hit songs.
He does.
He's got a lot of hit songs.
That doesn't make it right, though.
All right, guys.
He's got a lot of hit songs.
This is him. One guitar, one take.
Great.
Amazing.
His little inflections are incredible.
He makes me want to sell my gear.
He should inspire you to play.
That he does. When I watch Dennis play, he's posted a few things of his band, and you've sent me some videos. He reminds me of all the guys my dad used to jam with when I was really little. They all played like Dennis back then.
Listen.
The pre-band. Jesus.
The big ending. Fourths. Listen to this, the riff coming up.
He does those lovely cascading riffs.
Dennis
That's beautiful.
Delgodio.
That's beautiful. Aaron Cram says Keith Scott. Yep.
Yes.
Amazing player.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Amazing player.
And
Great
for
tone,
those of you who wanted to know what guitar he used on that recording, he used a brand new Jaguar.
Wow.
A Johnny Marr Jaguar.
Nice. Nice. And I'm going to have to dissuade some stuff here in the chat. Not everyone likes Alanis Morissette. Not everyone owned the Jagged Little Pill album, because in Canada, because we have laws that you have to play 30% Canadian music on the radio. So in the early 90s, you could flip any radio dial any day, any time, and you will hear a song from that album. So I never owned the Jagged Little Pill album, but my younger sister did, and all of her friends did. I think I missed out on that. But yes, we did supply the Foo Fighters with their drummer as a result. So, and hello to Bill.
But wait, wasn't Taylor Hawkins playing on that record?
Yeah, he was her.
You got to listen to that record just for him. Just for him, because he's incredible. What an incredible drummer.
He is. He's an amazing drummer.
And the songs. I mean, the songs are amazing.
So Aaron's like, isn't that ironic? I'm not.
Wait a minute. So, Susie, you saw Johnny Marr in a small bar, everyone banging their beer mugs? So much fun. Wow.
I saw Johnny Marr twice at NAMM. I saw him at the Gibson party. Aaron from Ellis Band, he and I were staying there, and he walked by, and I said, wasn't that Johnny Marr? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, cool. And then I ran into him the next day because my buddy Richie wanted a photo of him. He goes, Johnny Marr was at the Gibson Bash? I would have lost it if I had seen him. And then I see the message in the morning, and sure enough, I go to NAMM. I'm 10 feet on the showroom floor, and there's Johnny Marr. And I'm like, hey, can I grab a photo? He's like, sure. Immediately sent it off to him. I'm like, there you go, buddy. Made your day.
Dave, Rockin' Chango missed Dennis's last name. Give him the whole bit.
Dennis Delgaudio, Del capital Gaudio.
Yes.
You can.
And he has a YouTube channel of the same name, or it might just be his last name.
It could be. It could be. Yeah, I think it's Dennis Delgaudio. Facebook at Dennis Delgaudio. His band's name is called Delgaudio. They're just incredible 3-piece band, and he plays a 3/4 size Rickenbacker like John Lennon's guitar for the whole set, and does everything, all kinds of chicken picking, country, rock and roll. He does everything on that guitar with, I think, 13s on it. 13s on the guitar. Yes, 13s, but they're flat wounds. He plays on flat wound strings.
BC Rich 581 says Johnny Marr really overlooked too. I watched a movie last week on Amazon Prime called England Is Mine, and it's about Morrissey finding his way to the Smiths. If you're a fan of that era, you'll enjoy that film. Susie, thank you for the clarification. You were talking about Johnny Winter.
Thank you, Absolute Mayhem. First beer? Well, I'll have wine. I do appreciate
the amazing Johnny Winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Pre-laser guitar.
Yes. It was funny when Dennis, one of his videos came up on his channel for his solo band. So I checked it out. Yeah, an hour later, I binge watched his entire channel.
Yeah, he's one of those guys like just one of those guys that are like, holy shit, everything you hear, one thing is better than the other, and he just doesn't suck. He doesn't miss, he doesn't suck, and he's entertaining. The faces he makes, he allows you to see his fingers when he's playing. He's a great guy, and man, you could just learn so much from that guy. It's ridiculous.
Well, maybe not a second beer, Mayhem, but I will top up my glass. How about that? And we need to get together soon, buddy. I miss hanging out. Mayhem and I usually hang out every few weeks, and I haven't been able to hang out with that guy since the end of February.
What are you having, Ben? You having a cab? What are you having?
This is a Cab Merlot blend from Open Winery in Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Very nice.
I heard it's from the New York side of the Niagara Falls.
Yeah, quality there.
All right, I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Fair enough.
Huh.
Milt, thank you very much, buddy. Donation to the channel.
Awesome. Good stuff. Very
Yes.
good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you very much, folks. Yeah, keep those question comments coming. We'll go
Absolutely.
to the top of the hour. Kim Mitchell, another great guitar player.
Yep.
Yep.
While I have you guys here, on behalf of Ty and myself, I want to formally thank Ben for moderating on our show every Thursday night. Without being asked to do it, he just took it upon himself to take care of things while we run the show. And
Glad to do it.
between him and my fiance Desiree, the job has been amazing. I can't ask for more. Not that I've asked for any of it, but I really appreciate Ben. And because of that, we're going to have Ben on our show. Well, not because of that, because Ben's very knowledgeable and he's a good guy. I don't quite remember the date that we decided, but in the very near future, Ben will be on our show.
It is Thursday, July 16th.
I'm really
There you
looking
go.
forward to that.
There you
Not
go.
that I keep my notes handy for things.
And
Well, I'm glad you do.
Cheers to you, Ben. Cheers to you.
Cheers.
So here's my pour. It's a cab. It's a 2007 from Marin County, Santa Rosa, California.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice
Nice.
stuff.
Very good. I would hold up something too, but I don't drink.
I used to actually sell wine for a living, so good times. Yeah, and a perk of working at the wine store is because wine, unlike other alcohols, you're always pairing wine with foods.
Correct.
So when a new wine came out, one of the perks of working there was you got a free bottle of wine every week to take home to try. So I just put them all aside, and then once a month I have my buddies over. I'm like, hey, who wants to get lit on a bunch of wine? Okay.
Thank you, Frank. Thanks for hanging with us. Music Therapy Last. So good to see you. Glad
Hey,
you joined
Laz.
us.
Hey, Rock and Chango, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Very nice.
Here's something for the tip jar. Much
Rock-
appreciated.
Rocking Chango with the American real money.
Real money. Yeah, I can buy some real wine.
Awesome stuff.
This is for you, BC Rich. Cheers.
Nice. Nice.
So many great comments tonight from you.
Yes, I appreciate the comments from everybody and those returning and new people and just looking there. And thanks anybody that subscribed to my other side podcast there, which, we have different loves in life, and I didn't want to put it all on this channel, so we decided to start a new channel for that. So I do appreciate it, folks.
And that's your NASCAR channel?
Yes, mostly
I can't-
NASCAR. But we'll talk about other forms of racing as well, because I grew up. That's the thing. I grew up around cars and guitars. That's it, right? My dad was into hot rods and playing music. So
many parallels between the two, right? So many parallels.
Lots. Exactly.
All right, I've got a question for the panel and for the chat. If there was a guitar that you don't own that you really want to own, something that maybe out of your reach, or something that you just don't own that you really want to have, what would it be?
That 57 Telly that haunts my dreams. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, Ty.
Well, being a single cut guy, the obvious is a 59 Les Paul. But realistically, Dave, that is way beyond my reach. Realistically, I would say either a 59 Junior or a 62 SG Junior.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like an ES 175.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Well, Ty, as you know, I have two of the three guitars that you forementioned, and I agree with you. They are the Cadillac of guitars, both.
I would ask you, Dave, but we kind of touched on it earlier when we were talking about you picking up tools for the trade, right?
Well, yes, and I I will eventually get those. Not right this second, only because I have a wedding to plan, and I think Desiree would have my balls if
This is true.
if I bought another guitar right now.
Oh, Marsman's got a 66 SG Junior. Very nice.
Very
Very
cool.
nice.
It's
Why
amazing.
don't we read some of these answers from people?
Yeah.
Gibson CS 336 would be pretty cool.
One of the first Charvels built by Grover Jackson.
Oh,
Yeah.
Susie,
yeah.
you're talking my language now.
Yeah.
The Joker guitar, sure. And yes, and thanks for the donation, Laz. I like Charles keeps it simple. That 335 in Dave's lap.
Oh, well, I can find one for you. I have no problem. I know where they are.
Dave Mustaine Peace Cells Tribute Dean V. Watched their 2010 concert. It was re-inspired by Megadeth. Very cool.
Oh, this is so good. Mark Taft would like to own a 67 Telly exactly like yours or the SG that Robbie Krieger plays.
I actually have a picture of me holding Robbie Krieger's SG. It's a 67. I have a few pictures of me holding his guitar with him right next to me and me holding his guitar. It's very cool.
And Mark has played my 67, obviously, multiple times.
Brack 63 Telly. Here's a 55 Les Paul classic black dual P90 from Terry. Wow.
Nice. Or right-handed Strat set up lefty, like with large house, like Hendrix type of thing.
And Ben played my SG Junior, says Marsman.
I did. In the parking lot of a Guitar Center in Joliet, Illinois. That just sounds crazy, come to think of it.
Here we go.
I was at a Guitar Center in Joliet, Illinois.
Here's one.
Hal just threw out a Trini Lopez. Holy smoke.
Yeah, Trini Lopez.
Oh,
Lopez.
my God. Those guitars
guitar.
are so good.
A 335 with a 6-in-line tuning headstock.
And ATL.
So this guitar here is a 1962 SG Junior, and look, it has all of its red on it. It's even more red on the back.
Wow.
It's
I could get along with that.
you could play anything at any time with this guitar.
I could get along with that.
It's an incredible condition. It's Tom Weber and I had a talk about this guitar today.
You're right, BC Rich. His original guitar was a Trini that he bought on 48th. He either bought it from Manny's or Rudy's.
It was Manny. He bought it at Manny's. It's a red one. It's gorgeous. He still has it, and he plays it in the studio.
Right, and it's made appearance on most of the records, right?
Yep, that's the guitar he plays in the studio, and then at live he plays either his blue or his gold.
Yeah, those are great guitars.
Dale, thank you very much. Yeah, this is an incredible guitar.
And hello to Half Ace and welcome, and Brown's fan as well. Dave Grohl plays a Trini Lopez, I believe. Yes, he has a signature guitar that looks like it, but he does actually do all of his recording with his original Trini Lopez. Or at least most of his recording, I should say.
Mark Taft, yeah. You know what? Maybe let me see if I can find that picture, and I'll show you guys the picture of me holding Krieger's.
And Winston McKay was asking, Ben, I hear everybody talk about 67 Tellys. Are they the ones to own? Well,
if you can find one, because like I said earlier, and don't ask me how I know this little bit of information, but 1967 was the year that they made the least amount of Tellys of any year the Telecasters were made.
Hey, Johnny Bing. Glad you're here.
Hey, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny. Or should we refer to him as the Godfather? Because neither one of us would have a show without him. We'll just call him.
Guys. I'm coming up on the Robert Krieger pictures right now. Well, I lied about one picture. I have two pictures. Here's me holding Robbie's guitar.
Oh, that is so awesome. What year is that? What year are you holding the guitar?
This is maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
And the very next picture is me and Robbie together.
Very
Nice.
nice. Yeah.
So there you go, Mark.
It actually looks like you can fit him inside my body. It almost looks like a standee. I'm just put my arm around a standee.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of a Weekend at Bernie's thing going on there.
It's very funny. But yeah.
You hold the Robbie Krieger mannequin, and I'll take your photo.
And here's my buddy Dennis holding his guitar as well.
Very nice.
Dennis Delgaudio holding Robbie's guitar.
The amazing Dennis Delgaudio.
You need to get Dennis back on your show.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's not enough stories out of that man. You were just scratching the surface last time you had him on.
Hey, Gabriel Tone Guitar says, is that Pete Townsend's SG Jr.? You know, several years ago, and Dave, you'll have to help me with this. I can't remember the year, but Gibson started making that the SG Classic, and it had the two P90s, a bound fretboard. It had dot inlays. Yes. It came in cherry and came in ebony. How cool was that guitar? They didn't make it very long, like a year, 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
How cool was that guitar? I mean, it was kind of made after Townsend's guitar.
Now, was it a wraparound tailpiece or was it a bridge and an ABR?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it was a tailpiece and a Tune-o-matic. I don't remember.
So yeah,
because they also did make the SG Special, which was a wrap like this and two P90s like Townsend's guitar, because his was two P90s. The Townsend version, yeah, is two P90s. So they made several versions of that guitar, and they're all killer.
So good,
all killer.
All right, so I went and saw, there was a band out at the time called the Donnas, and I saw them play live at a festival, and she was their guitar player Allison was playing that guitar, and her tone was so crushing, so brutal, amazing tone out of that guitar. Yeah, that's a good one. You want to show that one?
Yes, it's the SG Fool, Eric Clapton's guitar from the Cream days.
Nice. Very cool.
Johnny says that the Donnas are from where he is in Santa Cruz. My friend did one of their music videos. Johnny, you and I will have to talk about some Donna stories.
Very cool.
Anyway, I've got a couple more I could show, but I'll wait till closer to the end. I've got a couple more fun.
Go ahead. Yeah, we're going another 10, 15 minutes here. What do you got? See, Johnny survived grocery shopping. That's always good.
Yes. Good for Johnny. That's nice. That's always good to go shopping for food.
Yes.
It's fun, especially when you're starving.
Mm-hmm. Robot Master Switch says the Donna's NorCal band. I saw them a bunch growing up in the Bay. That's awesome. I love that band. Loved them. And I love that record they made with Butch Walker.
Oh, and how good is Butch Walker? Do you have any of his records?
All of them.
Yeah. Yeah. How about the Marvelous Three?
The Marvelous Three. I mean, I could take up the rest of Ben's time talking about the Marvelous Three.
That band should have been the band that made it.
So Butch is from. Butch and I don't know one another, but we did not grow up very far apart. So I've got lots of South Gang, Marv 3, Floyd's Funk Revival stories. Yeah.
So those that don't know Butch Walker, he produced Avril Lavigne's records. I can't talk today. Avril Lavigne's records,
among many others.
Among many other records, he's a songwriter, guitar player,
producer, superstar.
Every one of his songs has a catch to it. They're all singles, every one, and he's got to be the most well-known unknown artist I've ever heard. He's very, very well known inside the industry. Yes, but he can't get his songs on the goddamn radio if his life depended on it. And all of his songs are absolutely radio worthy and amazing. Like his worst song is amazing.
He is guaranteed, though, if he writes a song for someone else, it does chart.
Yes, that's it. As soon as he writes it for someone else, it's like number one.
Yeah, he's an amazing talent and an amazing guitar player.
In that case, probably Absolute Mayhem's parents have both met Butch Walker, because when Avril Lavigne was doing her first album, you may recall she was still under 18. So she had to be escorted everywhere, right? She had to have like a parent or a guardian with her at all times.
Yes.
And her family couldn't always do that. However, her parents and Absolute Mayhem's parents are good friends. So his parents would go out and spend time with Avril when she was away from home. Like, there we go. Avril Lavigne, my daughter's babysitter. Yeah, Avril babysat Mayhem's daughter even.
CU Space Wrangler says, Marv 3, great live band. Butch Walker's so underrated. Songwriter, producer, etc. Good to see you, Space Wrangler.
Yes. Welcome to the channel. New name in here. Please subscribe.
Amazing guitar player.
Nice.
Absolutely. So here's another one.
Ooh,
You may or may not have seen me play this before. It's a custom shop Gibson 61 SG. Also, just a ridiculous guitar.
yeah. Beautiful.
You
Very
could
nice.
play your best Doors songs or Allman Brothers songs,
AC/DC, baby.
AC/DC songs. I'm getting into it.
Some Frank Zappa.
Some Dweezil Zappa.
We actually, I just have, I don't know if this is it. I got to get this sent out tomorrow. Yes. We just had my buddy Travis at Reno Fin just made a custom pickup based off Frank Zappa's bridge pickup out of his SG. And this is going out to California to our buddy Joe. And we did a custom color combo on it too.
Is that red and yellow?
Red and cream.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very
We're
cool.
curious though, because he painted the bobbin red before winding it, but then he had to wax pot it. And we weren't sure if the paint was going to stay on it once you wax potted it, but it did, thankfully. All right, see, Wilmar is out of here. He says, good show tonight, Ben. I'm off to make dinner. Thanks. You're more than welcome. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. And just a heads up, folks, I will be back again tomorrow night at 8 p.m., and I'll be doing live Q&A and playing some music.
Ben, can we talk
cool.
about the Strat back there that's right over your left shoulder?
Yes. This is a 1989 US Strat, which Strat collectors know it's from the late 80s just based off the color alone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, it's back to original pickups for now, and it does also have the locking Sprizzell tuners like Clapton used.
Yep.
And yeah, this is eventually getting lace sensors put into it to make it a full-blown Clapton clone from that era.
Yeah. Beautiful guitar.
Hey, Brian Landreth. Good to see you. Yeah, I bought this in 1991, I think. Picked it up secondhand. Guy had it, I don't know, a few months. It was there was still the lacquer on top of the frets. Like, you haven't even worn the lacquer off the frets yet. Because that was one of the first things I did was took a razor blade and scraped the lacquer off of the frets because they didn't dress the frets after they shot the lacquer on it.
Sure. Yeah, back in the 80s, they didn't do that very well.
Nope.
It's very funny.
Yeah. At best, you might get the very top of the frets cleaned off. At best. Hey, Quentin James is here.
Yo, Quentin.
The interwebs does not do that color justice. It really pops in real life. Yeah, Mayhem would know. He's played this thing several times.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love the pewter color.
Yeah.
So Mayhem had a chance to buy that guitar from you.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's been trying to buy it a few times.
He got it.
He keeps lowballing me because it's got a twist in the neck, but I keep showing him the replacement neck I have for it that I just haven't got around to putting on it yet. So I'm like, no. Yeah, oh, come on, I'll give you a few hundred for it. No. I'm just trying to think actually how many guitars Mayhem has bought off me. I think he's bought 2 or 3 guitars from me.
That's cool.
Yeah, he bought an 89 or 90 Ibanez EX 350 from me. And he bought an old 80s Kent Explorer clone from me.
Wow.
Which is weird. It's an Explorer, but it's like a 3/4 size Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice and easy to play.
Sweet.
Very cool.
All right.
So, Ty, how about showing that guitar behind you?
This one? All right. So this is the one I've been playing all week. I've shown it on our show before. It was inspired by a 1960s burst called Candy. And Dave probably knows the story better than me. But so the owner of that guitar allowed Joe Nags of Nags Guitars to really clone it. And he made 11 of them. And this is number 10 of 11.
Oh, so wow.
This is a Nags Candy. Mahogany body, maple cap, mahogany neck, Brazilian rosewood neck.
Oh, wow.
And there's a Nags headstock right there. Really great guitar. They reverse engineered the pickups out of their original 60s burst. And they even tried to relic the guitar. My understanding is exactly the way the 60s burst has been nicked around a little bit. So it does have, it is a relic guitar, but it's made to imitate the original. And since I'm never going to own a 60s burst, this is the closest I'm ever going to get. I love this guitar. It sounds great. It plays great. And
beautiful,
and I love it. Braden, yes, Eric Steckel has one of these guitars. I don't know which serial he has, but he's got one of the 11.
I think he's got the prototype. No, I think he's got number 1. It's either the prototype or number 1. I think one of them, either the prototype or number 1 went to the owner of Candy, and Eric has the other. Whichever one.
Okay.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
All right. So, at my core, I'm a Les Paul player. And, like I said, when we asked the question earlier, what's the one guitar you could have? Well, I'd love to have a real 59. It's never going to be in the cards for me. So,
Sure.
This is the closest it's ever going to be. And I was really sad when I missed out on the original sale of these guitars, but they sold out of them in about 30 minutes.
No doubt.
And this is it. This is it for me. And it's built off of their Kanai platform.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little thicker than their normal.
I thought it looked a touch thicker, but
Kanai,
I'm not an expert on Nags.
But it's a great playing guitar. It's a great sounding guitar. I play it an awful lot. I'm actually going to get out of the house tomorrow, and I'm going to go to a rehearsal with some really talented people, and I'm going to play this guitar there. So this will be a lot of fun. BV's kind of in the know here. He says that Dave Eric has prototype and number 1. BB, I'm guessing that's the owner of the original guitar. And I answered Braden's question. Yes, Steckel's got one of them. And I told Eric, when Dave and I talked to Eric, I told him that I was really sad that I missed out on one. And then luck and good fortune, a week later, one came for sale, and I was able to get one. And I love it. It's a great guitar. Fun. It's a lot of fun to play.
I will have to correct you on one thing, Ty. BV isn't kind of in the know. He's like neck deep in the know.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Susie, thank you for the kind words.
When that pedal show guys refer to him as a legend, and I'm like, and they're legends, as far as I'm concerned, that says something.
That's cool.
But we love BB. Yeah.
Okay, so now BB is saying that Eric's got Eric has one of the photos and number one. So, I see what you're saying, BB. So Eric's got he has a prototype and number one. That's really cool. I saw the videos that he posted last week, and I saw that he was holding one of them.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the one that's been sitting here only because I've been playing it all week.
And there you go.
Dale says any guitar that's a lot of fun to play is a good guitar. That's kind of the whole point, right?
It certainly is.
That is.
I'm just looking at that color. Oh my god!
I won't tell you what this is. You guys will have to guess what this.
We'll just say it's one of those.
It's one of those, Johnny.
It's one of those.
Johnny. Thanks for tuning in, buddy.
That Tye earlier said he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's one of those, Tye.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah.
I love how burnt it is around the edge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's caramelized rather than faded.
Yeah, it started as a dark burst, and it's still kind of dark, but lightened. It's lightened a lot since its birth 50 years ago, 60 years ago.
Thank you, BB.
They'll get better than that.
So resonant.
Hang on. Now I'll touch the desk. Insane.
The closest I got to play something of that era is I got to play JJ68 Les Paul, and that was a treat.
Very nice.
He's like, you're not going to be able to play it. It's got no frets. I'm like, haha. Little do you know.
Dave, we have a viewer in the chat that would like for you to hold that. Or we have a viewer. I don't guess he's in the chat, but we have a viewer that'd like for you to. Can you hold that closer to the camera?
What I just had?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to pull it back off. Okay.
That's what she said. And I suppose I'll present Dave since they want it closer. There we go. Damn.
Nice Brazilian board.
Mm-hmm. Notice the truss rod cover, folks.
Yeah, very much.
I will not show the serial number.
I don't blame you. Yes, and for those who missed it, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Let's see. Top right corner on your wall, it looks like a PV Wolfgang, possibly dark green.
On my wall?
Yeah.
It's purple. On the edge of the wall, this one here.
Right.
It is indeed a purple PV Wolfgang custom deluxe, I guess you'd call it. Arch top with a flame top.
Nice.
I think it's a 1999. And then here is a 2009 quilt top EVH Wolfgang, USA.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, one day maybe I'll come back and we'll do like a rig rundown where I'll just show all my stuff. It'll take a long time.
No problem.
But we should probably get one in the books at some point.
I think so too. Yeah. Yes. And folks, go back. Oh, was it about a month and a half ago? It was the last time Dave was on with Steve Anderson, and we showed off. I think we set a record that night. We showed off like 50, 60 guitars between the three of us.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was cool.
Amazing.
Anthony Murphy has a question that I may not be able to answer. He's got a Charvel question. I have a 5A that I love. The JT6, not so much. Will a Floyd Pro keep the correct string spacing? Now, if you were to ask me if a Floyd Pro will fit on the guitar, I'd say yes. Will it keep the string spacing? I don't know 100%. I would imagine it would, but please don't quote me because I don't know. I would imagine it would have to.
Yeah, I got nothing because if I had that question, I would have been texting Dave to ask. So,
All right. So, since Space Wrangler is here, there was a question earlier about clones and then clones. And we were talking about archers. And we were talking about gold, silver, white. Can you weigh in with your opinion since you're one of those dudes? Can you weigh in with your opinion on gold, silver, white?
I'd have to personally play them to know. Like, I know there is differences, but I'm not that up on them to know exactly.
We'll see what Space Wrangler says.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anthony Murphy says the JG6 is narrow spacing. The OFR is too wide. Well, here's the thing. I think it's really all in the nut and not in the bridge. I think if you get a narrow spaced nut, it'll work out.
Right, because it'll pull it in. Milt likes that purple Wolfgang. How can
Thank
you
you.
not?
It's pretty clean. It's pretty clean as well. It's maybe has one little ding in it, maybe one scratch, but not much. When I got it, I was very lucky.
Nice. And for those who don't know, Milt is the brother of Mark Taft in the chat here. I've known them since the mid-'80s.
Very cool.
Not sure on the Klon. Apologies, Space Wrangler says. All good, man. All good.
Aaron Cram says, has anyone tried the white? I didn't even know they made a white one. So, I mean, the guy who's supposed to be the guru didn't even know that. So I apologize.
It's rare. It's very rare. I think it's about as common as a unicorn, but hey, what do I know?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we've already done 2 hours, guys.
Yeah, it goes very fast. These shows all go very fast.
So fast. Well, I will offer up to Dave first. Anything to add, my good man?
I'm gonna do a little bit of self-promotion if you don't mind.
Please do.
If you want your guitars repaired, or if you need a setup, or if you want me to build you a guitar, please contact me at theguitarwhisperer.guru. That's the GUITARWHISPERER.guru. And leave in the comment section what you want built. Give me your phone number or your email address, and I'll call you right back. I'll get back to you, and I'll tell you whether or not I can do it. If it's a bolt-on guitar, of course I can do it. I don't do glue-in necks or anything like that. But any type of bolt-on, we do replicas, as you can see up top here. We do all these type of replicas that may or may not have stripes on them, or tiger stripes like George Lynch, or we'll do pretty much we'll make you a gem if you want a gem, whatever. We'll do it.
Here we go. We got BV weighing in. The gold archer icon is warmer and more compressed than the silver, but at higher gain, the gold is near to the original Klon.
Nice. Also, please check us out, me and Ty, on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern
And
Standard.
Ben's always there.
Ben is there. Yes, Ben is always there.
I did miss one episode a couple weeks ago because I was actually guesting on another show at the same time.
Yeah, you were. So it's the name of the show is called Nez Sez, Nezsez. It's on the David Nesdall YouTube channel.
Yep. I think Terry's been posting links to the channel, and it's in the description as well, folks.
We try to have a celebrity guest on each week. We try to have a guest on each week. Every once in a while, we'll have a show where it's just me and Ty, and we're talking about gear and stuff, which is also a lot of fun. And again, that's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday nights. This week, we have Tom Weber, Eddie Van Halen's guitar tech, Neil Schoen's guitar tech, Reba McEntire, CeCe DeVille, among more. And we got them. So check that out if you can, please.
I love it.
That's it for me.
Ty? Anything
Ben,
to add, my good man?
Thank you so much. You produce such great content. You do such a great job of giving back to the guitar community several times a week. And as a player and a consumer of this media, I just want to say thank you. And thank you for having us tonight.
Thank you for the kind words. Anthony Murphy says, great show, lads. I discovered all you guys because of Ben. Well, thank you, Anthony. That's awesome.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony.
It's all about spreading the word, growing the community. You know, people are doing stuff every day. Let's raise awareness on it. And, you know, like people will text, hey, what's a good show to watch tonight? I'm like, what are you into? Is there something for everybody out there? Check it out. Subscribe to your favorite channels, folks. Watch them. Leave comments on the videos. Leave thumbs ups, because it all counts as interaction, which helps the content creator get more visibility on YouTube. Believe me, it can be a struggle.
And also, I'm going to use our catchphrase for our show. These shows, all of these shows, whether it be Ben's show, Johnny Bean's show, Eric Broadbent, Tone Talk, any one of these shows, they're all here to inspire you to play more guitar or whatever instrument it is you play. It's here to inspire you. We're here to give back and to inspire you to play. And those that don't play, maybe you might get interested in playing guitar, because we need more music in the world.
That is true. Amen to that. And I definitely agree on that. When we're all here together, folks. So, you know, music isn't a competition. It's art. Let's enjoy it. For me, I don't know, but for me, it's a way of life. You know, at this point. So, yes. So if you guys want to hold the line here, I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. I want to thank those returning, the new people that I saw in the chat, which is awesome. I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that donated to the channel. Believe me, it helps keep the lights on, as keeps the electricity running into the amplifiers, and keeps me stocked in wine as well. So I do appreciate that, folks. And like I say, I will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, with another edition of Canucks with Guitars. A bunch of demos coming out this week on some cool guitars. I don't know if I have any pedals coming out. Oh, and a video upgrading my Kramer, which you don't see here because it's still on the bench, with a bunch of FU tone parts. So that, I believe, is coming out on Tuesday.
Cool.
So until next time, folks, as always, hold those doors open. Let that guy in ahead of you in traffic. Do good things, and good things will happen to you. Karma's real. I'm living the dream. Dave and Tye are living the dream. I hope you are too. Be well, be safe, and be good to each other, folks. Cheers and rock on.
Thank you, Ben.
See ya. Thank you.